welcome to Fit to be Fabulous. I'm Brenda von Rautenkranz, your host. We are located right here in Sykesville, Maryland, in horse country. Today I'm excited to have on the show Kevin Drumheller. He's the CEO of Richcroft. He's going to be sharing with an app for people with disabilities with his team. I'm so excited to have him on the show. Let's go there. Well, welcome, Kevin. I'm so excited to have you on this show. Now, tell me a little bit about your background with Richcroft. Tell me about that.
So I started in Richcroft in April of 2020, just when COVID had hit. Oh. So what a time to come on board, right?
Wow.
Yes. And we had to do a lot of scrambling at that time, but since then we continued to thrive. Richcroft has been providing supports for over 40 years. We're in 4 different counties throughout Maryland, Baltimore County, Howard, Harford, and Carroll. And we provide a whole array of supports and services for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
So is that a passion of yours, or how did that all come about?
It is. I've always been in the nonprofit field. I spent probably half of my career working with children and adolescents. And then I made the switch to adults with disabilities, and I've loved it. And I would say the passion has been supporting those folks, but also supporting the staff that do all the hard work day in and day out.
I went to one event of yours, and you just honor those staff members, don't you? I mean, there's an honoring there that you made everybody feel so important. I guess they're vital, right?
They are vital. We have over 570 staff who support our folks. Wow. We have an amazing culture. In fact, we were just notified we earned a Top Workplace Maryland for the 2nd year in a row.
Oh, wow.
So it's our culture that speaks. And then earlier this year, we won a Top Workplace USA. So very proud of how we support our staff so that they can do a great job of supporting our folks.
I love it. So when to start this whole thing, what did you start about in your career? What were you almost before all this?
It was a very strange trip. Initially, when I started my career undergrad at Towson State many years ago, the whole goal was I was going to be a criminology major and become an undercover narc, and that was that was my career, right?
Wow.
But I needed a job, and I had a fraternity brother who got me a job at Shepherd Pratt working with kids.
Yeah.
And I added psychology to my undergrad, and I never looked back. I moved on and received a master's in education as well as a master's in social work, and have never left the nonprofit field, and I love it.
Wow. So when you have all that background and you have all that, how do you give that to others? Because you have such a great wealth of education. How do you do that when others come in maybe don't have it? What do you do? What are some things you do?
I think we create a culture at Richcroft around learning. We are an ongoing learning organization. So we have many strategies in place, no matter if you're starting at direct support or a mid-level manager. We have some opportunities to learn and to grow. And in fact, we were also just recently awarded a Moving Mountains Award through the NADSP and Anchor, 2 big organizations within our field. And we were awarded that because of how we train and support our staff.
Wow. So I guess people are dying to get there to be with you over there, right? Because you got a great reputation.
I think so. I think we have a great reputation. Our turnover is low. Our vacancy rate is low. So yes, people want to work for us and with us.
I love it. Well, I'm so excited today that I love anything innovative, anything great. Now, you came on to develop with some team members an app for people with disabilities.
Yes.
Share with me that.
So that started when I came on board in April during COVID. Everybody was very isolated.
Yeah.
And a lot of the supports being offered were all virtual. So folks who had jobs, the jobs had shut down. If they went to a day program, day program shut down. So everything was virtual and people were stuck in their homes. We all remember that, right? Everyone was stuck in their homes. And so I started to look up what are really good remote supports for people with disabilities. And it didn't exist. So I said, I'm going to create one. And I worked with Dr. Karen Harvey, who's local, but also a nationally recognized trauma therapist.
Okay.
As well as an organization out of Massachusetts called Focus Eduvation.
Okay.
And we decided to design an application, an app, around dating and relationships.
Wow.
Yes, that seemed to be the biggest need, and what everybody was saying. I want friends. I want a boyfriend. I want a girlfriend. I want to connect.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of Hello, It's Me.
I love that. Now, when you think about, you're ready, was the loneliness thinking in your head, the loneliness, was that during COVID? Or I know we were all lonely. Well, I wasn't. I had my horses. But would you say now the loneliness, people are still lonely today?
They are.
So tell me about do you have any research on loneliness?
There's a lot of research on loneliness.
Right.
Actually, it's been shown to increase feelings of isolation, but also it's been equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Wow.
And that's what the Surgeon General said, that loneliness equates to a health hazard of smoking 15 cigarettes today.
Which affects the heart.
Yes, it affects your health. It has a higher increase of dementia. So yes, both physical and emotional impact of loneliness.
So when you think about this app, we should have our phone here so I can look it up, right?
It's a great, yes, it's a great.
I'm going to check it out.
You should.
But so if it's intellectual disabilities, right, that they have to be able to have a cell phone, right?
Yes.
They have to be, which you found probably most of them do, correct?
A lot do, or an iPad, or even just a computer online, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and then they can go on there and then they can share what are some of the, how do they come up with some kind of a criteria? How does that happen? What happens?
So we wanted Hello, It's Me to be more than just a dating app. And some people, that's what they call it, but it isn't. It is a relationship educational tool, and it has multiple components to it. So one aspect of this app are educational stories around relationships, around dating, around rejection, around being catfished, real life situations that people with developmental disabilities experience, being used.
Yeah.
And so these educational stories were all written by our psychologist based on real life events that she's encountered when she's been in therapy with people with disabilities. So these stories, as they move along, they will stop and have pivot points where the individual gets to determine what happens next in the story. And that's how they learn. They get to watch, what is the outcome? What does this character do? And do I like how that played out?
Yeah.
If I did, I'm going to continue. But if I didn't like how that played out, I'm going to go back and do another decision. I'm going to try something different.
I love that.
Yes.
Can it be for other people too, or is it just for intellectual disabilities?
It truly is designed for people with developmental disabilities. People without disabilities, they have your Bumbles and your Hinges and all those.
Right.
This really took into consideration the issues that people with disabilities face, as well as adding additional safeguards.
Yes.
Right? And so the stories are just then one component. We also have trained relationship coaches throughout the country. So an individual can sign up and have a session with a relationship coach and talk about issues they're having with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a staff person or a family member or a boss.
Is that free?
There are charges, but if they are part of the DDA system,
DDA stands for what?
The Developmental Disabilities Administration system,
Okay.
that can be paid for through their service. So they do not have to pay for any of it.
Whoa.
And they can sign up for relationship coaching sessions. They can participate in those educational stories. And then we also have online activities. We've had karaoke, we've had workouts, we'll have cooking. So they're free online opportunities for people to engage with other people.
So do you find that people who do it come to you and say, I love this app? Do they know who you are?
They don't, which is,
That is, I would have a little sign here. I made this.
Right.
Hi, hello, it's me.
We're very proud. We have the brand, we have the shirts, and we're very excited. And someone once says, how do you know it's successful? And so my ultimate goal is to attend at least one wedding. That's my goal. That happened as a result of the app.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, because the last part is swipe left, swipe right. You can upload your picture, you put in your likes, wants, and interests, and then you can meet people throughout the country.
Wow. Now, does anybody monitor it? To make sure.
Yes.
You just said that, I'm sure.
But that's a great question.
That you can't somebody's not taking advantage of
Exactly,
them.
exactly. We have a human 24/7. So there are certain words that are flagged, money, dollars. There are
Yeah.
certain words that will not go through. No pictures will go through until they're approved by an admin.
Okay.
So we do have some safeguards in place. And it's a great question, but it's also a slippery slope because
Yeah.
we want to treat adults as adults,
Right.
yet have safeguards in place.
Yeah.
So if folks want to meet, they're going to have that opportunity to meet.
So, when you're around or you talk about the app, how do you get I know we're doing this cable show and you can use it for YouTube, but how do you get it a little bit further out there?
It's
'Cause
true.
It's so cool.
It's true. Getting the word out has been our biggest heavy lift. I have been to many conferences, have talked throughout the country on this app. Dr. Harvey, Karen Harvey, she has traveled internationally and spoken about this app. So we're out there just trying to get the word out.
Yeah.
But things like this help so much.
Exactly. Because then you can use it, somebody could take it and say, oh my goodness, our daughter or son has this would
Exactly.
be wonderful. And we want to educate people. I just love the whole concept of it. Being in education and being a psychotherapist, and I have people come through, they are lonely.
Yes.
And they do find that they want to be with other people. Not so much, they just want to connect, right?
Exactly.
I think it's connection.
It is. They desire relationships,
Yeah.
and relationships can look different. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be intimacy. It's friendships. It is meeting someone with the same likes, wants, and interests, and being able to just talk about that.
Right.
And so this offers those connections.
So you're in all these counties.
Yes.
You're in Howard, you're in
Carroll, Hartford, and Baltimore.
and Baltimore.
Yes.
And so do you go and share some of this with all their people, and have you been?
Our staff are aware, yes. So
they-
yes.
okay.
We have a few folks who are already on the app. Interesting enough, we have one individual, she already had a boyfriend, but she used the relationship coach to work through hurdles that they were having in their relationship. She got on our app not to find a boyfriend, but to talk to somebody around the relationship she already has.
We need that for regular people.
We 100% do.
We need
You know
somebody
what?
to go, you are messing up,
And it's
man."
true. It's
Right?
true. We all could use that.
I know.
Yes.
A lot of people want to know, am I on the right track? So this kind of helps them. Now, do they receive the information pretty well, or like, no, I don't like that information? How's that?
They're
received?
great. The folks that we support who are on that, they're great. They want to learn.
Yeah.
They want to grow. They want the relationship. And so it's been wonderful to watch. Some just want to reach out and talk to somebody.
Yeah. Now, when they immediately go on, there's a panel to go through first before you can reach somebody else, you have to do,
Yes.
there's layers, right?
There are layers, and it has to be approved by the admin every step of the way.
Okay.
The nice piece about the app is that if they are getting supported by a family member, a friend, or a staff, as they create their profile, that person supporting them is going to learn all about them. This is
Yeah.
really what I like. This is what I enjoy. This is what I want my life to look like. And so it's a great way for the person providing the supports to learn about the person they're supporting.
So what happens? What happens when they're not ready for a relationship? They're pretty much intellectually, this would not be healthy for them. How do you go through that, saying, "Ooh, that's a red flag"? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think before we would introduce that app to anybody, we would really get to know them. We would want to know
Okay.
what their likes, wants, interests
Yeah.
are, and what they're prepared for. But just like people without disabilities who get on those apps and sometimes do stupid things, right? It's a way of learning.
Exactly.
And it's a way of teaching.
Yeah.
It's also an issue with people with disabilities. A lot of times they're very well insulated and protected and not able to make mistakes.
Right.
And how do you learn if you can't make mistakes?
Yes. So that's probably the first thing, that when they start making some of these mistakes, someone's there, it's not fear, somebody's there to support.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Instead of saying, wow, you messed up.
Right.
You know?
Yes. It could be someone next to them, but it could also be one of the relationship coaches. Additionally, before they even get onto that swipe left, swipe right, they have to watch a video we created around what is consent, understanding consent, and learning about consent.
Wow.
And acknowledging that they understand that.
So you did this with the team. I mean, the vision is unbelievable because there's nobody out there doing this.
I like to
right?
think so. Yes, I think so.
I haven't ever seen anything like this. And in my field, it would be so wonderful to have that opportunity. But when someone has somebody, how do they know that this will work? I mean, do you have like your team say, you know, why don't you call you, Kevin, up and say, would this be a good fit? Is there anybody live like that?
Right. No, I think it's the way we all.
Okay.
It's trial and error. It's the way we all go out and do the online dating. This person may be great. I talk to them for a little while and realize maybe not. Or maybe I want to now call you, or maybe I want to see you for dinner. So no, I think again, this goes back to this app is designed for adults.
Yeah.
And we want to treat them as adults. So allowing them to try.
So what's the ages? 18?
I would say 18 and up are very appropriate.
18 and
yes,
up.
yes.
What's the average that you've seen, the ages?
It's a great question.
Intellectually.
I think it is varied.
Okay.
It's varied.
Because 18 can really be intellectually 12 or 13.
It could be.
Right?
Yes.
It could be. So you take that into consideration too,
100%.
right? Okay.
100%. But if I'm 18, I want to treat you with the stories, right? Because your body is growing. You're having these experiences.
Yeah.
And how do you work through that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. I love all that. So what is if you were going to provide this for others and you were going to share some of these things, maybe have you ever done a live where you shared it live with a bunch of?
We have not, but that is a conversation that, when we go to one of these states to do a presentation, is to host kind of a speed dating kind of hosting, a live event, a live Hello It's Me event. We have talked about that. We aren't there yet, but I would say in the future, that's a definite possibility.
Now, your team that helped you with this, what was their background? Same as you?
Really, it was the three of us. It was my concept, and Dr. Karen Harvey is the one who wrote the stories, and Focus Eduvation are the ones who really put it in the app form. They're the ones who are doing the IT background.
Okay. So but how long did it take you to develop this app?
It was about 2 years. It took about 2 years to get the app off the ground.
But you were working on other things too, right?
I was running an organization.
I was going to say, are you CEO?
I am, yes.
And when you're CEO, you have a lot of responsibility, and then you're doing this on the side.
We did, especially around COVID, yes.
Wow.
We had a whole lot of responsibility, yes.
Well, you didn't have to go anywhere. You were just at home.
That's very true.
Nobody goes anywhere
That's
during
right.
COVID.
That's right.
I love it. So tell me the way that the culture that you have developed to get all these awards. What's the secret? What's the secret sauce for you?
I think it's how you treat people. I think it is to listen. One of the models that Richcroft really lives by, it's called the results pyramid. A lot of organizations focus on the actions of their staff. What are they doing, right? What are the actions of our team? But we don't focus on the actions. Our goal is to provide experiences to our staff, right? Wow. How do we welcome you? How do we onboard you? How do we train you? How do we support you? So if we provide these really quality experiences, our hope is that we shape our staff's beliefs they have about our organization. So if we do our part and provide the experiences that shape those beliefs, the actions take care of themselves. We don't worry about
Did you think about this ahead of time in life? Because this is phenomenal, because most people like to micromanage, they're doing it wrong, they're always,
Yes. Well, this is a model that has been introduced by Partners in Leadership, and it's one I've always gravitated towards. That model, as well as the concept of servant leadership. We let our staff know we're only being successful when the people below us that we work with are successful.
I love
That's
that.
what determines our success, yes.
So, but when you start saying, I bet you get 100% back from them, because if you give that out there that is so positive, they will give you back what you want, right?
Oh, our staff are amazing. They're committed to the organization. They have heart. They go that extra mile. Yes, it's a relationship. Relationships are very important to me, as you can tell.
I could tell.
And so if we don't have quality relationships with our team members, then what are we doing?
Right, right. So how do people do in your organization to create that culture? Do you keep them all? I mean, the reason I'm interested is because you're the CEO,
yes.
And I like to know what CEOs do
Sure.
to get that culture.
Sure.
What do you like? meet with them on weekly basis? What are some things that you do just to help
Yes,
other people
sure.
that are in this field?
Sure. So I meet with every new staff coming in at orientation. So anytime we have a new employee orientation, I present. And I present on the results pyramid. I talk about the experiences they should have. And then those staff come back and meet with me about a month later, and then we ask, how was that experience? What can we do better? What did we do well? So that is one experience that I try and give our team members. I have town halls twice a year. And then we've put in a lot of layers of training and support. And our staff have gravitated towards that.
Wow.
And it's a circle. So having a stronger workforce allows for less turnover,
Yeah.
which allows for more dollars that then go back and allows us to be one of the top payers in Maryland for our direct support staff.
So now, where do you get your funding from?
DDA,
They
state
will-
with the federal
But
match.
what about outside? Do people
Fundraising.
You do that.
Grants,
Okay. Grants.
yes.
What are some of the fundraising things you do? I mean, events.
Well, our biggest and our best is our Raise a Glass,
Okay.
and that's going to be coming up again in May, and so we're very excited about that. And it's at Bordy Vineyards. It's lovely. You can't
Yeah.
beat it. Great wine, great food, live music, and it's a great way to celebrate our staff as well as the people we support.
Yeah, and because I was there last year, I was so impressed. A lot of people with disabilities were there. They
Yes.
were part of the program. They did a lot, and I love that because sometimes you don't get to see that.
Right. They had a blast. They were on the dance floor, and yes.
Yeah,
No, it is a community, and we want to practice what we preach.
yeah, I love that. Great philosophy. Maybe you should write a book, on that. You could say, "Hello, it's me."
That's right. Part 2, yes.
Tell me a little bit. Yeah, you do that one. What's another one that you will be doing? Anything else throughout the year?
We've partnered with local restaurants.
Okay.
Again, going out and getting a percentage of whatever the proceeds are for that night. And then a lot of it has been around grants.
Okay, so you have to have a grant writer and all that.
We
right?
do. Well, we have our director of development, is a one-stop shop. She does it all. She's, chief cook and bottle washer.
Oh, there you go.
She's fabulous.
Wow.
Yes.
So you get some of that for, the money for that. Do you ever? What's your biggest need out there? What's some things that you need? Just so we have the audience here.
Sure.
What are some needs that you have?
As we grow our programs, and we continue to do so, specifically our community development services. And so that is a day program without walls. We have groups of individuals based on similar likes, wants, and interests, and they are out living their life in their community and having just, again, amazing experiences. So the barrier to growth of that program is often transportation. So vehicles are always a huge need.
Is that because of liability? Because of you bringing people to and from? What's the?
As you grow, we have to be able to transport them out.
You need vehicles.
We need vehicles to get them out because no one's just going to come and sit at a day center. You're going to be out and active and about and living the life that you want to live. And so we need to be able to transport all those folks.
Yeah, so we need somebody, if somebody has some vehicles, nice ones now, we don't want
Sure.
little beat up ones.
Right.
We want some nice ones,
Right.
right? What about, is the community open to take on some of the people with disabilities?
Oh, of course. We have amazing partnerships
Really?
with a horse farm, with an art studio, the senior centers, the aquarium.
So they
So
all come and they are part of your
we will go out and yes, they will have all these experiences. Baltimore County Parks and Rec, Hartford County Parks and Rec. So yes, we have an amazing director of our day supports. She's a rec therapist. So really around developing partnerships designed to meet the needs of our folks.
Wow. What about when you have all this, because of fitness and everything, is
Yes.
that another component for that?
It is. We want our folks to have the option to be healthy.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to teach our staff, right, how to cook healthy. So we have two really important partnerships. One, we have a group that come in and they do fitness. Or our folks can go out and they'll do fitness for our folks.
Wow.
The second is we have hired a chef instructor. So we have a chef instructor. He was an executive chef. He goes into our homes and works with our staff and our individuals on how to meal prep, how to shop, how to cook healthy, how to have healthy alternatives.
Oh my goodness.
It's been amazing. Our staff love him. The individuals we support love him. So I would say we're probably the only organization that provides that level of support around health and nutrition.
Well, I think it's the most important, right?
I agree.
Movement and food.
Yes.
And it's that remains. You can't even go and meet somebody if you don't feel good.
Right.
And you have to feel good.
Yes.
You have to eat good and all that.
But it isn't only for the people we support. So our staff are now leaving with new skills, right, that they can take home to their family.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
So you're really teaching everybody how to.
That's our goal, right?
I love
Everything
that.
we do is for everybody.
I love that because I'm a fitness trainer too. I'm about food.
Okay.
So I love that.
All right,
I like a.
we'll have you meet Manny, Chef Manny. You would love him. You would love him.
I love that.
Yes.
When you think about all what you have done as CEO so far, what are you most proud of?
Our culture.
Really?
Hands down, very, yes. Hands down, our culture, because it ripples. It ripples in everything that we do. It allows the supports that we provide to be stronger.
Yeah.
It allows the engaged team members to be more present.
Yeah.
And it allows the organization to be financially viable, which we can put back to our team.
I think I'm going to come work for you, I think.
We love it. We brought applications.
I can feel it already.
Yes.
I got goosebumps. I'm like, oh my gosh. My culture, I'm here with horses.
Yes.
And they give me the same feeling.
Right.
They're not talking as much.
That's right.
But I do get the same feeling. I just have to tell you, I'm so impressed with I wish I had an app here because I would just look it up right now and come see it. But I will check it out.
Please.
Right away. But I want to thank you you're so busy and you run this whole organization, but I have to thank you for coming on the show.
Well, I appreciate it.
I love it, Kevin.
Thank you.
I hope you come back when you do your next app or something.
I
okay?
definitely will. I definitely will.
It.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to thank our guest for being on here, Kevin. And if you heard some horses, he's here with some of the horses with me today. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, you can contact me at brendavonr@gmail.com. We will see you next time on Fit to be Fabulous. Bye-bye.